Hey guys, I am here with Frank Trigg. How you doing today?
You know what? I'm doing okay. Had a couple of hiccups here at the house. We had what the hell's that thing called? Your garbage disposal? Our
Okay.
garbage disposal started leaking underneath, and we live in a condo here, a co-op kind of situation. So maintenance is handled by the buildings. We have to actually call maintenance, but it's like a 5-step situation.
Yeah.
So as this leaking onto all of our stuff underneath the sink, we're like,
Oh, wow.
call this guy, then you got to call the supervisor, you got to wait for a call back, and you got to page the guy that can come and fix it, and you got to wait for that, and then that guy's going to come in. It's a thing. So they're there now. They're in the other room right now fixing it, so it's okay.
Was it hard to get a hold of someone though with the COVID happening?
Yeah, normally yes, but because I'm very close with our management, we're actually friends with the manager of the department.
Yeah.
We hang out, have drinks. We all quarantine together. We're all in the same building.
Yeah.
We go talk to her. Like we see him a lot. Our dogs play together, so it wasn't very difficult. So we're already cleared. But yeah, most people, a lot of the new people that have moved in since, there's a couple of new owners in the building, and they're like, "What do we do for this? And what do we do for that?" I'm like, "It's gonna take you 2 days. Like, just plan ahead. It's gonna be a little while until things get worked out because." Is anybody sick? You know, are there any temperatures? Is anybody has a slight cough? They need to wear a mask. Anybody has hay fever? They have to wear a mask. Like you're in your place, and you have to put a mask on because somebody else from outside came in that works in the building. So it's like this whole protocol. So it's a little weird. But it wasn't too hard. Wasn't too hard at all.
Are things starting to open there?
So I'm in LA. It's the most shut down city in the entire U.S. besides New York City, obviously, because it's got the largest amount.
Yeah.
We're doing okay. We're starting to loosen up. There's a couple of bars. We were driving back to my brother's house. My brother lives down the street. He actually lives overseas, but because of his job, they moved everybody back during the virus.
Yeah.
So he's staying down the street from me. So I went to go. His refrigerator broke in the place he's staying at 2 days ago. So I had to go buy a bunch of ice to be able to put in his coolers to keep his food okay. And we were coming back, and there's like 5 bars that we used to frequent are all open, packed, like completely packed. People outside waiting in line to get in, like they're open. Social distancing inside, obviously, 50% capacity, so 6 feet apart and that whole bit. Some things are starting to open up. I just saw a report that they're letting gyms and entertainment is able to go back to work, and nail shops and salons, all that stuff is going to start to open up on the 12th. Of June, so things are starting to get there. It's just taking a little bit. They are getting loose. They're not by any means back to normal, and everyone out there needs to remember what you remember as normal is no longer going to be the normal. So we have to find the new normal. It's all brand new.
And I personally think like here they're opening things a little too fast, like because we've seen like an increase now of cases now that things are starting to open. So
yeah, like who was it just had a spike? Texas and Florida just had a spike, or somebody down here in the States has had a huge spike because of being open and the people being out and about. And really, if you do the tracing, if you trace and take a look at it, it's really people going to work and either getting it to somebody at work or giving it to somebody at work.
Yeah.
It's somebody, doing normal lifestyle stuff, not people hanging out at the beach, not people hanging out on the bike path and riding their bikes. It's not hunters, it's not fishermen. It's when people come back and they go to work, then you're in that enclosed environment with your friends and you haven't seen them in a while. So of course you want to give some hugs and some extra fist bumps and that kind of thing. That's what's causing the actual outbreak is people going back to work, and that's part of the issue is like how is work going to be handled going forward?
Yeah, I'm not even back to work yet, but my buddy just got called back to his factory, and he said they're doing like temperature scans through the phones, and you have to be a certain temperature, so they're taking it pretty seriously here still. So, which they should, because I think we're gonna get a phase 2 maybe in September, which it could be worse. So we gotta be ready, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be there. So I talked to somebody else, a buddy of mine in Kentucky. He's actually from Toronto originally. Okay. And his wife is from Kentucky. She moved down, and he's a citizen and all that stuff. But he's like, there's going to be another wave. Like, Kentucky's preparing for another wave in the fall. Like, there's 100% going to be another wave come around September, October, and it's going to affect everybody. Yeah. Like, sure, Kentucky's preparing for it, but it's Kentucky. What does it mean for California? What does that mean for Hawaii? What's that mean for Maine? What's that mean for South Dakota? Everybody's going to have another bump, but what's that bump mean? Does it mean we're going to have another wave where, like, Hawaii has 660 cases, something like that? Yeah. they've had the largest increase in any 24-hour period was last night. They got 9 new cases. But 2 of those cases were old cases that finally got reported that had been missed on an early report. And the other cases were cases of people that went back to work. And they spread it that way. So it's like, okay, yeah, so Hawaii got 9 new cases. What does that really mean? Well, it's an island, so that could be pretty significant on an island. It can spread very quickly. And all of a sudden the whole island is destroyed. South Dakota, if it gets 3 new cases, is that a big bump? Oh, we doubled. We doubled in the last week. Well, how many? What does doubling mean? We got 4. Okay, well that's not doubling. California doubles, it's another 100,000 people. You know, it's like it's a whole different deal. So it depends on, you really got to read into it. And this is the first time in my life that I take a trusted news source, whatever that news source is, trusted news source, and I still have to do background to find out if that is true or not. Or are they just repeating what somebody else said and now it's becoming fact? You're like, this is just, so it's we're in a position now where no matter what anybody says, you know, it's all depending on what slice of the pie you're looking at.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it's really being read. You know, it's just a little weird. I mean, but welcome to the U.S. You guys literally got to be thinking that you live in an apartment above a meth lab right now, because we are going crazy down here.
Yeah. It's the kids that are going crazy too. Like,
yeah.
Do you want to get into the fights now?
Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah.
It's your fight that you're excited to talk about first, which is actually opening up I think they still call them the Facebook prelims or the Fight Pass for prelims?
I guess it's Fight Pass prelims now because of the ESPN deal, but whatever. It's the pre-prelims. So now we have a weird card. Prelims, then main event.
It's getting a little confusing now. But it is Evan Dunham coming out of retirement, and he's fighting Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns' brother.
Yep.
Didn't he take this on short notice?
He did. And Evan hasn't looked good his last few fights, hence the retirement.
No. This
is a very tough fight. In the way that we saw Gilbert come out and beat up Woodley, you got to think that Herbert and Gilbert, even if they didn't train together, they trained in the same space.
Yeah.
So the same reps, the same looks, the same everything that you're going to have out there. You got to think that Burns is going to be very good at this, is going to look very well in this fight. And that's taking anything away from Evan. Evan's an amazing competitor. He's one of my training partners when I was training at King Couture in Vegas before he broke away and started his own jiu-jitsu academy. Like, Evan is a solid competitor. And to be honest with you, I think Evan can beat, at the weight class, he can beat most guys. 50% of the guys he can beat, even at his age and declining in his athletic ability. He's still very, very game. He's still very, very dangerous. But I think Herbert just wins this fight.
Yeah, I got Herbert too. I don't think Dunham's looked the same ever since he lost to Barboza. I think he took a kick and that kind of he went downhill. And when people come out of retirement, I find they don't always look the best. So, like you said before, if you're contemplating retirement, there was a reason towards it. Your head can't fully be there, right? So I don't know if it's money. I don't know what it would be in that situation, but he's had a great career regardless. So
right.
I got Herbert for sure. Husamar Formiga versus Alec Perez. Those are the flyweights. He was a top
yeah. Yep. Okay, sorry, it took me a second.
Yeah, he was a top 5 guy, but he's on a 2-fight losing streak. And he's still top 5. The flyweight division's kind of hurting a little bit right now. So I don't even know what to do with those guys. Like, Perez is on a 2-fight win streak. I do have Formiga winning this fight and getting back on track just because of his jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
See, I think Alex Perez is going to be way too dominating, and not that he's a better jiu-jitsu practitioner.
Yeah.
He's a better guy on top than Formiga is on the bottom. And Perez is a much better wrestler and has an incredible amount of sense of how to hit hard when he's on top. But I also understand what you're saying, where Formiga can probably grab him, tie him up, slow him down, make it look like a little bad, get a couple of what they used to call in Pride or Shito, the catch. It's a really deep submission that in the old days, for the OG guys, the ref would actually go, catch, and put his hand up, and like, he's really deep. It's deep. It's really deep. If he gets out of it, it was significant, but obviously the rules and the judging system are different here. But I'm telling you that Perez is really good at getting out of submissions. He's really fast. He's very well conditioned. and Team Oyama seems to be on a track right now. They just seem to be working their way through everybody. They've been very good in the last little bit, and I really do think that Perez is going to win this fight. But I also have no problem with you picking Formiga.
I just think I think Formiga's it's gonna be the best fight. Like I think he's gonna backpack him. Like I can't remember the fight before where he kind of just was on his back the whole time. I just think he's gonna grind him out. It's not going to be a pretty fight, though. That's my opinion.
The cool thing I like about when you go to UFC.com and click on these fights, they give you a breakdown of everything. And some of the things that really strike me is grappling, takedown average, 3.47 Perez, Formiga 1.95, right? Takedown accuracy, 50% for Perez, 39% for Formiga. You're like, okay, that's a takedown game. Who really cares? Takedown defense, virtually equal, 86% to 87%, which means both these guys have a really hard time taking the other guy down. But Perez just has more average takedowns per fight, which means he's going to work on it more. He's going to work harder for it. Mm-hmm. Then the submission average, 0.56 for Formiga, 1.26 for Perez. Oh, so wow. it's I know it doesn't sound like much to the people at home, but this higher level of game, he's literally twice the guy in submissions that Formiga is, but he's not known as a submission guy. So this is why you will have these MMA fights, and a lot of Perez's submissions come from him cracking you.
Yes.
You get smacked up and you can't stop, and all of a sudden, boom, he catches you. You're like, okay, I can't battle him anymore.
So would you be surprised if Perez submitted him, or could you see that happening?
I can see Perez submitting him because, like I said, he'll knock you silly, and then catches a transitional submission, whether it's an armbar, triangle, or a choke, because it's transitional. He hits you, and you're giving him something else to take a hold of. It would not surprise me in the least. But the problem is, how tough is Formiga? He's just a tough guy.
Yeah, he takes a lot.
And he's one of those guys that will take a beating and still come back and give you more.
He kind of reminds me of a Damian Maia, though, of the flyweight division.
Yes. And we've seen how good Damian's been his last 5 fights.
Yes, exactly. I'm really excited for this next fight, actually, and it's Cody Scammin versus Brian Kelleher. Kelleher took the fight on short notice. I know it's getting underlooked, but I think this has a really potential to be a fight of the night fight.
Yeah, I really agree. This could absolutely be fight of the night, and this one for me is a pick'em. To be quite honest with you, if you look at the stats, it's pretty much a pick'em as well. It's the only the largest difference is there's 2 of them. Takedown accuracy, 48% for Cody. Brian only 26%. But Brian he wrestles, but he doesn't really like to wrestle. It's like one of those things he kind of goes to. Where Cody likes to wrestle. So it's a little bit different mindset. And submission average, 0 for Cody. Only 6.2 for Kelleher. So Brian is a better submission guy, but he doesn't really use that either. This is going to be a slugfest. And when Cody gets hit, he'll take you down. That's his main. You hit him, you rack him, he's going to take you down, he's going to get on top of you to slow the pace down. This fight, I give a slight edge to Cody Scammin, but this is truly a pick'em fight and could be fight of the night.
Yeah, I'm taking Cody. I think it's going to be a decision, but it's going to be a scrap. Like, I'm pretty excited for this fight. It's definitely being underlooked. And I just want to say this whole card seems to be kind of overlooked.
We've got riots down here. We've got police protesting. There's so much other stuff going on right now that people are forgetting that this fight is actually on. ESPN tweeted today, hey, just a quick tweet to let you know, don't forget, tomorrow night is UFC 250. It had like 3 retweets and like 17 likes when I looked at it an hour after they had posted it, which is unheard of for ESPN. When they post something, it's like 10,000, 20,000. It's just immediate. It was super slow. People are just interested in other things right now. But I truly believe that when the fight starts, people will be tuning in. I'm a competitive sailor. I think we talked about it before. So I'm sailing tomorrow. It's a practice run. But I was like, guys, we have to leave at noon. I have to be back at 3:30. They're like, why? I'm going to go, this first fight's on at 3:40. I'm going to hit the dock. I'm going to run right to my house, 10 minutes from my house. I'll be right back in my house, and my wife will have it set up. I'll walk right in, the fight will be on. And that's just what happens. Like, this is how it has to happen. If you guys can't guarantee me that, I can't come practice. The fights are going to start. And like, oh, yeah, there's fights tomorrow. Okay, yeah, we'll get back. And those guys are very much prelim main event guys. They'll be home by 7 o'clock to watch the main event on the West Coast. Like, that's their thing. They'll be home in time to watch. They didn't even know that the fight was happening.
You're so lucky that you get that, because like I usually get to bed by 1:30. The card ends in Canada, like, because
you guys are on the East Coast. Yeah, it's horrible. My son is in New York, and he's like, dude, Dad, it's like, but we have to text and talk to keep him awake so you can watch the rest of the card.
Yeah, it's like I always think, are they fighting at 1 o'clock? But no.
Yeah.
So unless they're fighting Toronto, which that's going to be hard.
Oh, it's so you have to think about it. Whatever time you're watching it, if they're fighting in your time zone, that's the time they're fighting. But if they're fighting in a different time zone, they are fighting at that time. So it's like if it's 1 a.m. in Toronto, it's 1 a.m. That's the time they're fighting.
Oh, wow.
So guys like GSP, when he would fight in Toronto, he'd come out at midnight. He'd make his walk at midnight. That's what time he was fighting. That's how it goes.
Yeah. I like this next fight too. I think the next couple fights are like, I think it's stacked. We got Bruce Leroy versus up and comer Chase Hooper, who's getting touted out to be one of the future prospects of the UFC.
Styles make matchups. This is a super hard fight for Alex. Chase is the real deal. He's got everything top to bottom. He's able to do any position, any place, anywhere he wants to grab it, he can do it. He's very, very good at the submission game. And once he gets to the ground, we all know Alex has a problem once he hits the ground. So we got to see what's going to happen. But Alex's game. Alex has a lot of stuff to give to him. Without the hype, without the push the UFC is giving him, Chase is the real deal.
Yeah, so I honestly didn't see. I've only seen his last two fights. I think he was on the Contender Series, and I was really impressed with him on his last fight. I think Bruce Leroy's jiu-jitsu is a little underlooked though, so I think he could actually hold his own on the ground, and I think he'll go to Chase Hooper, but I think it'll be a decision. I don't think he'll get stopped.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
I just don't see. I think his ground game is actually pretty good. Like he's pulled off some submissions of his own too. So
he's got a 36% submission rate versus Chase's 50%.
So it's not. It's a big difference to.
But it's a big difference to the guy that doesn't have much submission defense. But Alex has got good submission defense. So that might actually go in his favor. And then win by KO or TKO, 21% for Alex, 25% for Chase. It's not that big of a difference. So this is actually very well, but still, it's matchups make the fight. And stylistically speaking, Chase is just a very tough, difficult fight for Alex.
I agree. Then we get to the main card, and this fight is probably the most hyped fight of the main card or the whole card itself. And it kind of upsets me because this is one of my favorite bantamweights. I'm a huge Eddie Wineland fan, and he's taking on Sean O'Malley. And
it's just because it's Sean. It's just what it is. Anytime Sean fights, he's just that guy that everyone wants to be a part of and wants to be, they want to talk about it. And I read someplace he trained at Burning Man out in the middle of the desert and did all this weird stuff. And he comes in and smashes you up, especially when you're 11-0. Like he's crossed that 10-0 mark. He's 11-0 now. So at 11-0, now it's like, can he make 15-0? Can he make 20-0? Like how is he going to make these things? And the pressure. And then Eddie Wineland at 24-13. Jesus, what a guy. You can't say enough about Eddie. You can't undersell Eddie as a fighter. You can't do it. Yeah. You can't oversell Eddie as a fighter. But you can't oversell Sean as a fighter either. So this is one of those deals where, unfortunately, I just think Sean's gonna be too much for Eddie.
Oh, I do have him stopping Eddie in the first round, which is sad because I'm a huge Eddie Wineland fan. I've always rooted for him in WEC. I just grew up watching him, and a lot of people don't know that he's been around for a long time, like the newer UFC fans. Yeah. And he looked great his last fight. He got a knockout. I can't remember the name who he beat, but he came back after a layoff and he got a knockout win. I think Sean's is too much.
Yeah, I agree.
So, this is another exciting fight. Holy, Neil Magny versus Anthe Martin.
Neil Magny all the way.
Yeah, he looked amazing against Hagin. Yeah. So
and he looked great to weigh in, looked happy at the weigh-in, didn't look as sucked out as he has been in the past. He's got his weight under control. He's always had his weight under control. But the biggest thing is that Neil's 80-inch reach versus Anthony's 73-inch reach. That's a huge difference when you got a guy like Neil kicking and punching you in the face. And and Neil's a straight puncher. He's not a hooking puncher. So he's not losing that. He's not losing that 7 inches. He's putting everything out there straight on your dome. Yeah. So it's going to be very difficult for Anthe to get in. I think Neil wins this. It's going to be tough. Every fight is tough, but I think Neil wins this relatively easily comparatively to some of the other fights he's had.
I do have him stopping him in the second with probably ground and pound. That's my prediction. I wouldn't be surprised if it went to decision, but I do have Neil Magny coming back with a stoppage. I don't know if you have it by stoppage or not.
I think Neil's going to finish it, but I thought it was going to be later in the third.
Later in the third? Well, we'll have to see by then. It could go either way. I think this should be the co-main event. Over the co-main event, but this is Kori Sandhagen versus Aljamain Sterling.
Man, I am so in love with Sterling. I love everything about this kid. I stalk him
Really?
I stalk him like a bad ex-girlfriend on all of his social media. Like, I love everything about Aljamain Sterling. Like, this guy is a complete deal. Outside the cage, inside the cage, outside the gym, inside the gym. He is legit 100%. I love this kid, and I'm a little biased when it comes to him fighting. This match is a lot closer than what I'm going to make it sound like, but I picked Sterling to win this thing, and I think he's going to stop him in the second round. I really do.
I rewatched him versus Pedro today on YouTube because they posted it, and he looked amazing. His striking, he slowed down a little bit at the end, but his striking has came a long way. When he used to just grind you out through wrestling, so his striking's came. I'm going to be a little bit biased here, but ever since I'm actually a Kori Sandhagen fan, probably the way you are for Funkmaster, is just because ever since Brendan Schaub on the Below the Belt used to talk so much about Kori, and I honestly, when he first started, he's like, go watch this guy. He's going to be something. And then he's beaten everyone. Then he beat a Sensao, and he's like, you just keep watching. And I just think he'll be able to decision Funkmaster for the win. We'll have to get back to you on that one.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this one pans out. See which one of us eating crow.
I just think that Funkmaster, he sometimes chokes in big fights. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, he does. He does have that kind of mindset, but this isn't that big of a fight. It's only number 2 versus number 4. It's only number 1 contendership. It's only if you win the fight, the next guy in line. It's not that big of a fight.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
I'll stop right there, though. Do you think that if someone has a good performance out of these bantamweights fighting, that they could, since it's not official, that they could take all those spot versus Peter Yan?
Yes. So this is the weird thing with MMA right now. We have a hard problem getting people in because we can't get in the U.S. Right now, the U.S. is where they're throwing other fights. We can't get people to fly in because of quarantine. So we can't get people to fly in from out of the country. So we can only use, local-based fighters, essentially U.S.-based fighters, based on what we got, or the ones that become residents that are here training in town and staying in the country. So that really lowers down, the playing field. There's a lot of guys. Although can't get in. He can't get in the country right now. Right, Brazil's they have a huge problem with the virus down there. It's a huge issue right now. Venezuela's about to blow up. South America's about to have a new hit. So everyone has to be very cautious. No one's flying in from down there. You got to have people come in. The winners that get out of this without getting cut, without getting scathed, without having stitches, are able to go right back to their training camps. Then they're going to be able to fight, and they'll be able to make that step in. And it's going to be a quick turnaround. And a guy like we've seen, Angela Hill fought 7 times in 12 months. So people understand now. It can happen. You can fight that much if you choose to. A lot of these fighters are going the GSP route. I only want to fight one time a year. I'll make a bunch of money, and I'm going to train for the next fight a year later. That's all I'm going to do. The new group of guys, your Angela Hills and your Sterlings and those guys that really love the fight, put me in. Put me back in.
The Cerrones.
Yeah, put me back in. Look at Cerrone. Like, he's like, he got beat, wanted right back in again, got beat again, want to get right back in again. He's like, I want to get back in right now. Like, he just wants to get back in again. These guys want to fight. That's where the world is going right now, especially for MMA. You start seeing champs fighting 2, 3, 4 times a year, defending the belts because they want to get that rack up. When you got, unfortunately, I hate using Stipe Miocic as the example, but right now he's holding the belt up because yes, he's a first responder, he's a fireman, he's got a job he has to do for Cleveland. Yeah. I totally understand it. Vacate the belt. Vacate the belt, move on. Let's get the division moving again. Let's get DC free so he can fight somebody else then, since you don't want to fight, and we'll see what happens with DC and Nagano. Let's see what happens with that. Since we can't get Stipe in there, but let's not hold it up anymore. Guys, you're gonna start seeing guys wanting to fight more and more and more, and this is one of those fights that it can happen. When these guys fight, it definitely can. They win unscathed and get hurt. Hey, you feel like fighting in 2 weeks? You feel like fighting in 3 weeks? You know what? I do. I feel like fighting.
Taking their training, they're not really training as much, so they might as well just get in there, have a fight, and that's what Kelleher did. He just fought, I think, 2 weeks ago, and he's like, might as well just take another fight, right? So
get back into it again right away. Smart.
Absolutely. I do have Sandhagen by unanimous decision. Are you going by decision for the?
I'm going Sterling. Sterling finishing the second.
Finishing the second. We'll have to talk about this when Sandhagen wins. In the co-main event, we have Sensao, I don't know if I pronounced that right, versus Kota Gurbin, which it's kind of a tough fight to pick.
Yeah, this is the only other fight I have on here that's a pick'em for me.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Kota Gurbin. I can't say enough about him. My wife loves him. This is a huge fight for our household because she loves Cody so much. She'll watch a whole card just to see Cody fight and then won't care about. So in this case, she might shut off on the main event. She might go start pouring drinks and start getting more dip because she only cares about the co-main event, right? So, but it's Rafael Assunção. I mean, how can you not? Think about this. It's number 5 versus number 9. Cody is the underdog in this one.
Yeah.
Assunção is the favorite. But we all saw how Cody dismantled Dominic Cruz in his prime. We all saw what Cody can do when he is dialed in and focused and ready to work. We've also seen how good Rafael is when he's dialed in and focused. It'll be interesting to see how this fight passes out. To me, it's a straight pick'em. You can give me first round knockout for either guy, first round submission for either guy, do that all the way through second, third round. I can agree with all of it. I can agree with anything that comes out of this thing, right? This fight is going to be another one of those fights that could be fight of the night.
See, I actually have it for Cody by it's going to look like the Gaslam versus Darren Till fight, and I do have Cody being like very tentative and just trying to get that win to get back into column, and I do see him getting the title shot out of all of them if he wins because Cody is a draw and they need the money draw right now.
He's a huge draw, and you got to get people buying pay-per-views. You have to get people buying pay-per-views to make any kind of money, and Cody is that guy that can draw people in to buy pay-per-views.
So I think you're going to see Cody win, and you're going to get Peter Yan versus Cody Garbrandt. That's just my prediction.
And to be honest with you, I'm sure that Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby are actually paying attention, and I think that's probably the matchup for them to make if Cody gets out of this without getting any kind of damage. But I think even in a win for Cody, Assunção is still going to hurt him. He's still going to hit him. Still going to hit him. Still going to get him cut. And then that becomes the issue. It's a little cut. It's a small cut. Don't worry about it. It's a small cut. Yeah, but it's super deep. It takes 14 days for that to heal. No contact for 3 weeks. So we can't. Oh, so now you can't fight. And so that's going to be the issue: is how do people get out of this fight without getting scathed?
I just think, do you think Cody is going to benefit from having this time off? Because people have talked about his chin, and I'm a little worried too. Like, do you think he's very chinny, or did he just need time off between those knockout losses?
So people talk about getting a weak chin. Oh, I get knocked out. You get touched, you fall down. You get touched, you fall down. It's because you need time off to heal your head. Your brain needs time to heal. It can't heal if you're constantly sparring, if you're constantly getting punched in the face. Even in practice, it can't heal. Yeah. So guys are like, oh, he's still chinny. Well, did he take the time off? Did he take the 6 months off he needs to get his brain fixed? No, he didn't. This time off for Cody has been a benefit to him. Yeah. How much of a benefit, we don't know. He might have been out there, sparring in his garage the whole time. We don't know. We don't know what he was doing. If that's the case, then he's still going to be hurt. But hopefully he's taking this time off. He's done some strength conditioning. He's done a little mitt work. He's done some light stuff just to get his brain healed up.
Yeah, Stipe Miocic versus Ngannou. His chin was not the same after that fight. He let it heal, and he was an animal again. So there's an instance right there. In the main event, we have, in my opinion, the greatest woman fighter ever to do it. I just don't think there's anyone better than Amanda Nunes versus our Canadian here, Felicia Spencer.
I mean, this is going to be a mauling. I feel bad. I mean, it's just like Amanda's just going to smash her up. Can you give me any space that Felicia can win this fight?
I can't even see, like, someone said, oh, she could take her down and grind her up 5 rounds. And I'm like, have you seen Amanda's wrestling? She's not getting taken down. I think she stops her in the first round. People also said to me she took shots from Chris Cyborg, and I'm like, well, you see what Amanda Nunes did to Chris Cyborg. Like, Nunes is just on a different level. There's levels to this game, and Nunes is the best. And
remember this girl back in the day? Oh, what the hell was her name? The UFC put all their money in her basket, and they put everything behind her. Ronda Rousey. Remember that girl when she destroyed everybody the first 10, 15 fights, whatever, before people caught up to her?
Oh yeah.
Amanda Nunes is 0.30 of that. She's the next level of that. So, somebody might catch her in the next 5, 6 fights. Or you start seeing, now we've seen the game plan, kind of like with Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva. We see the game plan of how to beat Anderson Silva. We can see it now. Now we just have to implement it and get somebody to be able to do it, and then Weidman was able to do it. This is what Nunes is right now. She's so far ahead of everybody else. You have to find a way to find a chink in her armor, and Spencer might find a chink in her armor that fighters in the future can exploit to maybe beat Nunes later, but Felicia's not going to be able to use it on Saturday night. There's no way she'll be able to use it to win.
No. I usually get a little butterflies when one of my favorite fighters are just going at it, and I have none this time, and it's sad to say because she's a Canadian, and it wouldn't be horrible for our country because we don't really have.
And she's a great person. she's an amazing fighter. I want you to discredit. Like I don't want you guys to think I'm saying anything negative about Spencer. Like she deserves to be here. She deserves to be in this title fight. She deserves to be in this spot. She is not going to be able to beat Nunes. She just not have the technique and the skill, and that's just fact. That's just what it is.
And that's not her being a bad fighter.
Right.
That's
it's just
women's sport. Is that Nunes is so much ahead.
She's light years ahead right now. Right now, at the end of this fight, we might be like, oh, she's only a couple days ahead. Like right now, she's light years ahead. And then after Saturday night, you may be like, oh, Spencer shows a lot of different ways you can actually beat her. And all of a sudden, she becomes a little bit more beatable, a little bit more understanding how to get to her. But honestly, I just don't see it happening. I just see Nunes running over Spencer, having her way with her from the opening bell until the final stoppage.
Yeah, I do have a head kick knockout first round. I think that Felicia is just a little too sloppy for her, and she'll stop her quick. So
yeah,
and that will be my predictions for this fight card. Is there anything you want to say?
No. If you get a chance, check out Scoring Senate. It's a new app that we're developing. We'll be on Twitter. It's a bunch of us. We actually get to score the fights from home, but and then we post what we scored, how we scored each round, and it gets posted for everybody to see on Twitter. So everyone sees our live judging of these fights. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to pull it up for you real quick. Who's on the card, or who's scoring with me? It's actually sorry, it's I gotta put my old man glasses on. Don't make fun of me. So it's Ian McCall, myself, Angela Hill, Matt Brown, Eve Edwards, Chuck Liddell, Din Thomas, Todd Duffy, Mark Clark are running it out. Where all of us are judging at the same time, live, main event only the main event, but we're live judging. ScoringSenate.com is the website, but it's also if you follow Scoring Senate on Twitter and then follow, and then it'll keep populating, so you better follow everybody else who don't already follow us. But all of our stuff gets posted after every round. And the comments. Some of the guys, I don't comment. A lot of people comment. This is the reason why she won the first round. This is the reason why she won the second round. Yeah. I just put my score out and leave it alone. Because I usually got my nephew, my niece are here watching with me. My brother's here. I got people watching it. I'm just trying to, here's my score and I just leave it alone. So
perfect. I will definitely download the website and the app and I'll share it out. And
perfect.
Have some fun this weekend.
Thanks, bud. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. We'll get together again in the future. And
absolutely. I love it. Love to.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Take care.